boys and girls. Oh, let me take my mask off. Oh, there we go. Now you can see my smile. Thanks so much for joining me. I just wanted to let you and your parents know that if you have any questions for the Queen, you can send them directly to my email at charactersbykim@gmail.com. And we'll put that at the end of all the episodes. And please, you can send me your artwork, your questions, and anything you'd like me to talk about on future episodes of Big Ideas for Little People. Boys and girls, welcome. Well, let me take my mask off so I can talk to you. I was out today and I had to wear my mask when I went to the store. Did you have to do that too? I know. It's kind of different, isn't it? That we all have to wear masks. Welcome back to the Castle of Big Ideas and Story Time with me, the Queen of Hearts. I'm so happy you're here today. We have had lots of questions coming in for the Queen, and I wanted to address some of them for you today because you know this show is about big ideas for little people. And even though we're little people, we can understand some very big things. An important thing that's been going on that I think we all need to understand is a very big long word, coronavirus. That's a big word too, isn't it? But if we take it and we separate it into two small parts, coronavirus is really two words, corona and virus. And I have a wonderful book that I got online that I'm going to put the information at the end of the show today so all your mummies and daddies can get it themselves for you to read at home. Coronavirus, clear answers for all kids. And that's you. So, let's see. What does it say? There are lots of questions that children have. I'm a kid. It starts out just like you. I'm a kid who likes lots of things. I like playing games, going swimming, and watching my favorite TV show. I'm also a kid who likes to know what to expect each day. Most of the time that works out fine. Most of the days are regular days and they go like this. Maybe this is like your day. I wake up, I have breakfast, I brush my teeth, and I comb my hair. I get dressed for school and I walk to the school bus. Sounds like a good day, doesn't it? And when I get to school, I see my teachers and my friends, and I work hard at school. I listen and do all my work, and in the afternoon I come home, I do my homework, I play at my house, I eat my dinner, I take my shower or my bath, well, most nights, and then I go to sleep. Is that what you do? It sounds like what I do as well. But once in a while, something different happens and the day does not go as I expect. Today was one of those days. I learned something new. I learned that there is something called a coronavirus. Big word. And it's causing a pandemic. Another big word. I really wasn't expecting that. Were you? I've never heard of those words before. Now, I have lots of questions. Kids do. I'm a kid who likes to know when there are answers to my questions too. So today, I'm asking all my questions and I hope to get some answers. But I know that sometimes there are questions that just don't have answers. The first most important question, boys and girls, is what is coronavirus? Well, that's the first question and it's a big one. Coronavirus is a kind of illness. And an illness, is something that makes you feel sick. Now, some people are calling it also COVID-19. COVID-19 is just the name of this type of virus, the coronavirus that happened in 2019. That's where that word comes from, COVID-19. But you know what? It's just like other illnesses that you've already had, or you know someone who's already had a cold or the flu or an ear infection. You've heard of those, haven't you? Of course you have. Coronavirus has actually been around for a very long time, long before you or I were even born. And it's the kind of coronavirus now that is new. It's just a little bit different than all of those in the past. Notice what it looks like. It looks like a ball with all of these little red things on it. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. Now, the other big word is what is a pandemic? Oh, that's a big word too. I thought that coronavirus and pandemic were the same thing, but it turns out they're two completely different things altogether. Pandemic, that means that lots of people in lots of places all over the world are getting sick from the same thing, the same illness, the same virus, which is the coronavirus. Right now, lots of people all over the world and right in your neighborhood are getting coronavirus, and so that's why it's called a pandemic. That's because it goes all over the world and doesn't just stay in one place. But it's still just one kind of illness. The next big question is, I want to know, how do people get it? Good question. If we understand how people get it, then we can make sure that we try to not do those things so we won't get it. Usually, people who have the coronavirus caught the germs from someone who already had it, and guess what? They didn't do it on purpose. No. Nobody's giving you the coronavirus on purpose. It's an accident. And that is how germs are spread, by accident. Now, you're probably wondering, can you catch the coronavirus? Can your sister catch the coronavirus? Can I, the Queen, catch the coronavirus? Well, and sometimes thinking about that might get us feel worried. But the real and true answer is yes. Yes, you can catch the coronavirus. And in some cases, some people already have. And you might have spent a lot of time with them. And if that person sneezes on you, then maybe you might catch the coronavirus. Another reason why I had to wear my mask, so that I wouldn't spread germs if I had them. And that's why your mummy asked you to wear a mask, so that you won't spread germs if you have them. What happens, though, if you say, yes, I can get the coronavirus, then I want to say, uh-oh, well then what happens to me if I get the coronavirus? Well, let me reassure you. that children and most people who get the coronavirus don't get very, very sick from it. It's a lot like having a cold in your nose and a cough in your chest and feeling a little achy and tired like when you have the flu. You might not feel well for a few days. You might have a sore throat or a headache or a bit of a tummy ache too. You might get a cough. I don't like it when I get sick. Do you? No. But at least I know what it feels like. And every single time that I've gotten sick, guess what? I've gotten better. That's a good thing to remember. Well, then, it doesn't sound so bad, does it? Then why is everybody talking about it and so worried about it? Good question. Even though coronavirus doesn't make kids too sick, it can make some other people very sick. Some adults, especially older ones, like maybe our grandparents, Nanny or Pappy or Grammy or Papa. We love them so much. And if that older person gets very, very sick, they might have to go to the hospital. And some of them get so sick, they might even die. But you don't want that to happen. Since it's so easy to catch the coronavirus by getting too close to people, we need to try to make sense so that we can help people stay healthy. And there's another reason too, and something that you might have never heard before either, and that is what people are talking about called flattening the curve. What does that mean? Curves are not flat. Curves are curvy. How can we flatten a curve? What does that mean? Well, it turns out that lots of grown-ups have never heard of this either. So you can tell your mummy and daddy you understand flattening the curve now. It sounds like we're all learning new things. Mummies and daddies and teachers and boys and girls too. During the pandemic, when so many people were getting sick with the same thing, lots of people need to go to the doctor and the hospital at the same time. And even though there are lots of doctors and lots of nurses and lots of hospitals in the world, there are not enough of them if too many people get sick all at the same time. It's just like when we all want a drink of water at school. We can't all go to the water fountain at one time, can we? We have to all go one or two at a time and spread that out. Flattening the curve doesn't mean that people won't get coronavirus. It just means that they won't get it at the same time. That will help make sure that there are enough doctors and enough hospitals and enough nurses to help all the people when they are sick. So, how do we flatten the curve? Well, I didn't know about this before, but I sure do now. And guess what? You can help be a person who helps flatten the curve too. I'm learning that I'm already helping, and you're helping too. Did you know that by your school being closed and your activities being cancelled, even though it makes you sad and mad, it is helping to flatten the curve? And when you have to stay home and not get too close to people who don't live at your house, it's also flattening the curve. That's called social distancing. We can talk more about that another day. It's kind of hard to do, but it's important. And if we all do those things, everyone everyone, big, small, young, old, can help flatten the curve. You know, my parents now, I'll bet yours do too, but this boy's parents are working from home. And the rest of my family is home with me too. These days when we all get together are very long days, aren't they? Not used to being all together all day long. It's hard, isn't it? Sometimes it feels like too much for me. It's too noisy and I need my space. That's okay to feel that way. That's when it's time to take a break. Go find a quiet place, a special place, in your room, under the tree, in the basement, wherever it is that you feel safe and quiet, and stay there and breathe that magic breath until you feel ready to come back. I like the way things were. I want to go back to school. I want to do all my activities. I liked when I knew what to expect every day. And so my big question now is, will my days ever go back to the way they were? I'm here to tell you, yes, boys and girls, they will. Yes. Might be a little bit different, but now I know you want to know when. When will my days go back to how they were? I'm ready for that answer, aren't you? But the question is not so easy to answer. Nobody knows exactly when we will all be able to go back to how things were before the coronavirus pandemic. And I don't like having to say to you that I don't have an answer, but I will always tell you the truth. All I can say is it's hard not knowing exactly how long it's going to last, but I do feel better knowing that it's not going to be forever. We must use a little patience, and we'll have a story time about that someday too. Well, how will I know when it's time to go back to school and do all the things that I want to do and usually did? I want to know. Well, there are doctors and scientists all over the world working together, and science is a good thing. And they will tell us when it's safe to go back and to resume our regular days. And when they tell us it's time, I know that I will be able to listen and do all the things I used to do before, just maybe a little bit differently. You know, it's good to find out that the coronavirus pandemic is a very big deal, but that not everything has to change. I can still play with my toys when I'm at home. I can still go outside and I can give hugs and high fives to the people who all live in my house with me. I can read books, I can watch videos, and I can even video chat with my friends and family. That's fun, isn't it? I can't see everything and everyone that I want to right now, like my teachers and my friends and my grandma and my grandpap. And I can't go to the playground and I can't go to the swimming pool yet, but I will see them again. And I will get to do my favorite things again. You know, it's a lot of stuff to think about with the coronavirus. And the coronavirus can make all people feel a little upset and scared. What does the coronavirus feel like to everyone else? It probably feels the same way that it feels to you. Kids get nervous. Grown-ups get nervous too. They want to make sure that everyone they love, like you, is staying safe and healthy. And it can be also really hard for grown-ups and kids not to have their regular schedule. It's hard for mum to say, no, you can't go play with your friends. But please remember, boys and girls, it won't stay like this forever. And the coronavirus pandemic will end, and we will all go back to school, back to our friends and our teachers and our activities, just like we did before. Even though lots of things are different right now, lots of things are still the same. I still have my regular days. I still wake up every day and yawn. I still eat my breakfast. I still do my schoolwork at home, and I play. And I try to be flexible. Oh, that's a big word. That means easygoing. That means adapting to change when things don't go exactly as planned. I might think of some more questions to ask, but I might not. I just am happy to know about coronavirus. Most days are regular. Most days I just want to know what to expect. And right now my days are a little different. But I'm learning a lot. Are you learning a lot? And mostly I'm learning that asking good questions really helps. The end. Well, friends, coronavirus, that's a very big word. Corona means crown. Crown. And I'm also going to put a link on the end of the show for a wonderful colouring book that Mummy and Daddy can get online for you. And it shows how the coronavirus looks under a microscope. You see, a virus is very, 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 very tiny. So tiny that you can only see it by looking at it under a microscope. It's so sneaky. It's so easy to spread through the air and the things we touch. And so when scientists look at it, they see little things sticking up from it that look like crowns. So corona means crown. And of course, a virus is the tiny little germ that makes people sick. So this wonderful colouring book you can get, and you can draw your own coronavirus and colour it, and it's easily downloadable online. Today I just wanted to take a moment and I wanted to get my sketch pad. Sometimes when we're thinking about things we want to learn, it's important then to draw them. And so I am going to see if I could draw the coronavirus. If I was a scientist and I looked under a microscope, boys and girls, you can get a piece of paper and your crayons too, and I hope you'll want to draw this with me. What would coronavirus look like? Well, I believe it's shaped like a circle. So let's draw a circle. And when the scientists look at it, it has all kinds of little things sticking out of it. Yes. And when you look at the little things on the top, I'm going to just make lines with little dots all sticking out of my coronavirus. And when they look very closely at the little things sticking out of the virus, they look like crowns, just like a king wears. So I'm going to put a little crown on the top of my coronavirus and colour it in. How about that? I'm going to give my coronavirus a face. I don't think it's a happy face. I don't think it's a kind face. He's kind of a mean little virus, isn't he? So I'm going to make him some mean eyes and some mean eyebrows And he's not nice, he's frowning. Don't want to be like him, do we? No. You put whatever face you want on your coronavirus. But remember to always keep a happy face on your beautiful face. So, I want to thank you all for coming today and learning about this very important big idea, the coronavirus pandemic. You did a good job listening and learning. And don't forget, you can always ask questions and always talk to a grown-up if you have any questions in your head or any worries in your heart. Thank you so much for visiting. Let's sing our song, shall we, before we go? Find your elbow, boys and girls. And here we go. Skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo, I love you. Skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo, I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath that moon. Skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo, I love you. I really mean it. I love you and you and you and you and you and you and you. Poop poop be doo. See you next time.